Welcome to the Keen Review. Today we're looking at the Benvolio Funpack, a sample package, if you will. This package comes with 3 different mods, all of which have began production in the mid-2000s, and unfortunately they were never fully completed until the author just released what he had done in 2011. And the first mod we'll be looking at, and the most complete of the 3 of them, is the Psychedelic mod. In this mod, Mortimer McMire has somehow tricked Commander Keen into drinking some funky liquid that causes him to start hallucinating. Your job as Commander Keen is to find the 4 potions, I guess, that will take him out of his state of hallucination and bring him back to reality. It comes with 5 levels, 4 of which contain the potions, and 1 of which is optional. Through the levels, you'll be running through some somewhat pastel-colored environments, and you'll be running into creatures like 2-headed green kangaroo things, violins, and hammers. Some of the point items are birds, some weird berries that blend in awfully well with the background, and things that look like colored peanuts. Yeah, the level design is pretty linear and straightforward. There's not really huge labyrinthian exploration here. You're just really running from left to right. You can go up into the clouds and the trees though, but that's about it. It's not really totally a bad thing though. It's just a different style of level design from what Keen normally does. And the optional level has you turning on the lights to have weird effects of changing the palette, and you can fall off pretty easily. And the jump height has been increased, but the pogo height stays the same. So you jump higher than you pogo, which is a pretty odd mechanic. And there's 1 level with this purple haze that uses the masking to an interesting effect by giving everything in this haze sort of a light magenta hue. Next up is Earl Pedro, who Benvolio claims to be a Duke Nukem type of character. Earl Pedro has a few levels, but it's more or less a test demo. There's no enemies that can kill you or anything, and there's no real goal. The levels are linear, you walk left to right. There's some good-looking scenery, but overall it's pretty empty. And the character himself kind of has a really awkward walk cycle where only his legs move in only about 2 frames of animation, and the rest of his body stays still. He's walking around in this tropical resort type of area with some hotels and shops in the background, and girls in bikinis running around, and, well, that's about it. That's about all the author had done with it. The last mod is Highway Blues, which really shows off Benvolio's skills at making a title screen. This is sort of a unique idea that has Commander Keen driving a car, and while this seems original and would be interesting, the mechanics kind of fall flat. While you're driving the car, you can really only go one direction, and if you try to jump up or drive into the other lanes, so to speak, you have no way of getting back down, and you'll most likely get stuck, and usually the exit's on the bottom right and stuff. And the green cars get in your way, which is kind of the point. And he said he eventually wanted some way for the other cars to be hazardous enemies and for you to shoot them, but that just never got in. It looks great, but in the state it's in, it's kind of boring to play. It might have turned out to be something decent if given the time to be fleshed out, but the author abandoned it. And that really sums up my rating of all these mods. They're neat ideas that could have been much better if they were given the effort to be fleshed out in design a bit more. And maybe now that they're released, if someone's motivated enough, they could pick these up and try to make something better out of them.